Hi everyone, how's life, and welcome to another one of my videos. So in this video I thought I would show you everything that I got from D23, the ultimate Disney fan event at the Anaheim Convention Center. Also talk a little bit about some of my highlights from the event, how I booked it, basically a little bit of an overview slash review of my time at the D23 event. So come along. Now the first thing I got, you can already see on my head, it's a D23 bucket hat. I got this from the Walt Disney Company store. You can see the tag over here. This was $32.95, so rather expensive, but it does have the D23 logo on there. It's embroidered. Also on the other side you've got Fantasia Mickey, and as far as I can tell it's actually a reversible hat. So there you go, you can see the other side of it. If you wanted to wear it from this side, you can. You've still got Fantasia Mickey, and then on the other side you've got the D23 logo, as I was wearing earlier. The next thing I got is also from the Walt Disney Company store, and it's another hat. This one's a cap and it says Walt Disney Imagineering. I love the embroidery on here. It's like 3D, if you will. And I think I actually did wear this on one of the evenings at the event when I was going to the Honda Center for the Legend ceremony on the last evening. Really like this cap. This was $27.99. We have another cap from the same store, which I also enjoy. This one still has the label on it, $27.99 again. But I love the stars embroidered on the front. And then this one on the back says the Walt Disney Imagineering, which again I think is really nice. Let me quickly try this on as well. Yeah, I really like it. It's blue, it's got stars on it, it's the Disney Imagineering, it's exclusive as well. It actually says inside the label Walt Disney Imagineering exclusive, so that's pretty cool. Now this next cap, and yes, I did buy quite a lot of caps, but listen, caps are actually useful when it's sunny. They help protect your head, and I do just enjoy wearing hats as well. So this one is also from the Walt Disney Company store. This one was $29, I believe, $29.99, and as you can see, it's got this beautiful logo on the front, and then on the side as well, 1923, which is of course the beginning, the start of the Walt Disney Company. That's actually why D23 is called D23, because it started in 1923. So many of you actually asked me, Sam, why is it not called D24? Because we're in 2024. That's not the reason. It's always going to be D23 because of the year that the Walt Disney Company was founded. Keeping with the theme of hats, this is actually something that I got for free. Everyone got for free. Anybody who got to attend the D23 day at Disneyland, which was the first time they ever did something like this. It happened the day before D23 started. The D23 weekend started, so it was on the 8th of August 2024 this year. And if you were some of the first people entering the park, which my friend Moni and I were, we got to pick up a free D23 day at Disneyland hat, which I think is awesome. I like the colors, I like the logo as well. I'm not the biggest Mickey hats kind of person. I do prefer ears or just like normal hats, but I did wear it on the day for at least a few hours and for some photos, so there you go. I feel like I look a little bit silly in them, but it's still a nice keepsake. A couple of other freebies that I got during the D23 weekend are these two hats. So if you're going to D23, the convention, you know, the ultimate Disney fan event that happens in Anaheim every 2 years, be prepared to get a lot of freebies. You're going to get a lot, whether it's pens, it's hats, it could be pins. There's just a lot that you're going to accumulate when you visit the different booths. And this one, as you can see, I got, I think this was on the last day when I went to the Disney Volunteers booth, and I actually went to the Volunteers booth all 3 days that I attended D23 because I love the Volunteers. I think it's such a great initiative. I think it's great that they get the people involved as well. And at the end of all 3 days, I got given a little present by volunteering a little bit. And when I say volunteering, it only took like 5-10 minutes to help them out. Nothing major. They're the big stars. I was just helping out at the end of the day. And yeah, they gave us this Disney Volunteers hat, which I also really enjoy the fact that it says D23 on the back. So yeah, this was one of the freebies. I also got this hat from the Disney Plus booth. Now I can't remember if I only managed to get this because I'm a D23 Gold member. The best way to find out is to probably just check out my vlogs again. I think they did want to make sure that I was a D23 Gold member, which I am. Again, not sure if it's something I'm gonna necessarily wear, but I think it's a really nice keepsake. Last hat, I promise. Now this is the first ever D23 hat that came out for this year's D23. When we were booking our tickets, at the end of it, just before we checked out, they gave us the option to book a couple of merchandise options or like add them in to our booking. And at the time, I didn't know how much there was actually going to be at the convention. This was my first time attending D23. So I thought, oh, this might be my only chance to get a D23 cap. And so I purchased this. I genuinely can't remember how much it was, maybe around $20. The quality of this isn't bad, but compared to the ones that I picked up at the actual D23 event, it's not as good. So in the future, I probably won't do this. But I don't regret it. It's Mickey on the front, very cool, and on the back, again, you do have D23 embroidered. Now, so far, all you've seen is basically hats and caps and not ears specifically. And that's because I didn't really buy many ears whilst I was in California. Even just like in Disneyland, I didn't buy too many pairs, maybe like 1 or 2. But I did pick up 1 pair from the D23 event. And this was actually from the Honda Center. Look at that, so beautiful. So you've got Fantasia Mickey on one ear, and this actually lights up as well. I'm gonna light it up for you in a second. And then this second ear says D23, the ultimate Disney fan event. This was $29 for the Mickey Mouse glow ears, and like I said, I got this from the Honda Center, which I was quite surprised at. I didn't think they were going to be selling special merchandise at the Honda Center as well, because obviously they had loads going on at D23 in the Anaheim Convention Center already, but the Honda Center, which is normally a sports arena, also had some merchandise. They had mainly like glow sticks and, you know, things that you could enjoy during the event, if that makes sense, as well as these ears. And these were $25 well spent, I would say. Having said that though, they're not the most comfortable ones. I am going to turn them on very quickly. There you go. You can see they light up, and so many people had them. So many people were wearing them during the Honda Center presentations, the big presentations every evening. I didn't actually wear them whilst I was there, but it's something that I think I can see myself wearing them in the future, maybe during nighttime shows in Disneyland Paris, or I just need to make them a little bit more comfortable, because right now they're not the best. And you can almost imagine how uncomfortable they can be just based on the material used. They're all plastic. They do look quite cool though. When they're light up, no? Right, another freebie that I got is this lovely Disney Plus pin that I also collected from the Disney Plus booth at the Anaheim Convention Center. Also these bracelet things, they were giving them out every evening at the Honda Center. They would light up, and again, everybody was wearing them. It was quite cool actually. I got this pin when I was checking out after booking my tickets way back in March of 2024. And it was the original, like the first ever D23 pin for 2024. So these sold out quite quickly actually, so I'm glad I managed to pick one up. Also this D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event 2024 lanyard I purchased when I was getting my tickets. And then speaking of lanyards, these again were free lanyards that you could pick up every day of your visit to D23. It's basically for your badges. So you've got badges, and I don't actually have my badges with me right now, but hopefully you can see it in a photo. Depending on how many days you're going, if you're going a 3-day pass or if you're going for separate days, you will get a badge, and that's going to be everything that you need for the event. So if you're checking into a panel or something, that's the badge that you're going to be showing to a cast member. And yeah, they had these lanyards at the beginning of the convention center, literally after security. Another free pin that I got from the event, which I think is quite special, is this one here. So this was exclusive to D23 Gold members, which I am and have been for the past few years. It actually has Sorcerer Mickey on the front with the blue, you know, Swarovski hat, I suppose, kind of to represent the hat that was outside of the convention center. It's really cool. So for this one, obviously it does say Gold member as well. You had to be a Gold member to be able to get it, and the Gold member fee, I believe, is around $99 per year, and anybody can join to become a Gold member. You can also be a free member of D23, but like I said, I chose to be a Gold member, especially for this year, because Gold members got priority to book tickets for the D23 event, and it definitely helped me out because it's not easy booking tickets for this event. I think I'm going to put this back on, by the way. I really like this Disney Imagineering cap. I also got one more pin, by the way, which again I don't have with me, but hopefully you can see a photo of it right now. My friend Moni actually picked this up for me when she went to one of the stores, and it's a Woody pin. I love Woody, as you guys know. I love Toy Story, and Woody's my favorite character from Toy Story, and this was really cool. It was a limited edition pin from D23 with Woody on it. One of my favorite purchases. Next, we have this pencil, this Fantasia Mickey pencil, which is from the Disney Imagineering store, as well as a bunch of t-shirts. So the last part of this haul is mainly going to be fashion, like outfits, things like that, if you will. Also, just bear in mind that they're all going to look quite creased, because I did have to put them in my suitcase and travel like 10-12 hours from California back to London. I will have to iron them soon, but this is the first one that I picked up. It's a D23 t-shirt. Picked this up in a size L. This was $29.95, and it's quite thin material, so I think it will be really nice for summers in Disneyland Paris, or if I go back to California or Florida, this would be a nice t-shirt to wear. Or have mercy, this next one is really creased. You might not even be able to tell. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell. Look at that. Listen, I had to try my best to fit everything into my suitcase on the way back, but this kind of matches what I'm wearing on my hat. So yeah, There you go. This is the Walt Disney Imagineering t-shirt. This one I picked up in a size M because it's more of a unisex t-shirt, and the price for this is $27.99. This next t-shirt I really like, and this was from the Walt Disney Company store, priced at $29.95 again. And it's a Disney in California print, so it's not necessarily all about Disneyland, but it's just a very cool design. Like, just look at it. Some of the cool things in California, I just love it. I love the colors, I love the logo, I love the actual color of the t-shirt as well. I think it's awesome. This one I also picked up in a size medium. This next one is, again, the official D23 t-shirt that they released when they first put the tickets out, which is why it's got a very similar logo to what was on the cap as well. It's got D23 on the sleeve. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly how much I paid for this again because it was quite some time ago. It was back in March that I purchased this, but I want to say around $25. And then last but not least, the only Spirit jersey that I got from D23, there were quite a few that I would have liked to get, but they sold out very quickly, and it was very difficult to get into the stores, and this is something that I'm going to touch on a little bit later in the video. But yeah, the merchandise shops, you had to have a virtual queue. It was almost impossible to get a virtual queue. Anyway, it's probably for the best because it meant I didn't spend more than I had to. But this is the Spirit jersey that I decided to go for. This is also from the Walt Disney Store Company, and as you can see, it's got the Fantasia Mickey hat on the front with the Apprentice book. Really cool, and I really like the back, the design on the back. Just look at it. Hopefully you guys can see it. I think Mickey looks adorable, and yeah, it's a little bit different to some of the other Spirit jerseys I have. So there you go, pretty happy with that. Price wise, by the way, $79.99. Oh, another freebie that we got were, of course, these bags that, again, were available to pick up for free every day of the event. They were very convenient, actually, to pick one up every morning and actually have on you so that you could put all your freebies in there because, like I said, you get given quite a lot. And speaking of freebies, the last two things I have to show you, and I've probably forgotten quite a few bits and bobs, definitely a few from the volunteer stand that I just, for some reason, don't have on me. I got a pin from the volunteer stand as well, which hopefully you'll be seeing right now, but I just don't have it with me. But the last two things I have with me right now are two posters, which I'm so surprised and proud of myself for managing to get these back without them being ruined. So this is a Zootopia 2 poster, which they were giving out at the Zootopia stand. I really like it. It's really nice material as well. Like, really cool, and I'm really looking forward to Zootopia 2. Zootopia 1 is one of my favorite Disney films in the past 10 years. And then even nicer, in my opinion, is this Moana 2 poster. Like, look at that, look at the details. And Moana 2 is coming out literally this year, November 2024, so we don't have long to wait. But I really like this poster, and of course we got this given at the Moana stand. But yeah, that's more or less it for my haul from D23, everything that I bought and everything that was given to me for free at the convention center. I do also want to very briefly talk about my overall experience at D23. I think if you've checked out my vlogs, and I posted 3 separate vlogs from every day at D23, you will know that I had the most amazing time at D23. It was very exhausting, don't get me wrong. I only got about 2 to 3 hours of sleep every night of the event, but it was so much fun. I particularly just loved being amongst so many other Disney lovers, like Disney fans. I spoke to so many amazing people, other creators, Imagineers. Like, that was one of my favorite things as well, just being able to actually meet Imagineers, speak to them, listen to them, learn from them, seeing so many cool things. It was an awesome weekend. Probably one of my favorite weekends of 2024 so far, I would say. And that doesn't mean it wasn't stressful at times. That doesn't mean it wasn't tiring. Like I said, I had to wait in queues all the time throughout the weekend. That's something that you have to expect when you're going to an event like this. But regardless, it was fun. And I love spending it with Simone as well, Moni Mouse on YouTube. If you haven't checked her out, German YouTuber, we both had an amazing time, and I would love to go back. Like, it lived up to my expectations and more. However, on Instagram yesterday, I did ask you to ask me any questions, any specific things that you wanted me to briefly touch on about my D23 experience. Now, I am going to make a full video explaining how I book my tickets next year, probably in 2025 at some point, because I think it doesn't quite make sense for me to post it right now, because the next D23 event won't be happening. Well, the D23 Anaheim Convention Center event won't be happening until 2026, so we've still got a couple of years for that. So I think that video will probably come out at some point next year to prepare you guys for the following year if you're hoping to go. However, I just want to talk a little bit about my experience with some of the questions that you guys asked me. So KW12 Fair asked, curious about how hard it was to get tickets. Now, it was hard. It was very hard, and a lot of Disney fans didn't manage to get tickets. So I feel very lucky that I was able to get tickets. Both me and Moni were able to get tickets. We were on the phone to each other for about 3-4 hours the day that the tickets went on sale for D23 Gold members, which we both were. It took us a few hours in a virtual queue on the website to be able to get the tickets. And like I said, I know that so many people were not lucky, like literally on that same day. Even Gold members, some of them were not able to get tickets. So you really have to be on it at the right time online and hope for the best, because even if you try your best, you still might not be able to get them. They sell out very quickly. It's the ultimate Disney fan event. Everybody wants to be there. But like I said, I will be making a video in more detail about the process of booking tickets in 2025. A couple of people have asked how to book and become a member. So to become a member, you literally just go on the D23 website, and there are 2 ways to become a member. You can either become a free member, which is just signing up for the D23 website and, you know, having your email and everything, and that's a free member, or you can pay the annual fee, which is about $99 per year, and then that means that you're a Gold member. Jamie Richard Evers asked, do you think you could go alone to D23 and still enjoy it? Oh my god, absolutely, Jamie. Now obviously I was lucky that I had Moni with me, and she's also a YouTuber, so we both really understood each other, if that makes sense. We were kind of both there for the same reasons, if that makes sense, to enjoy the atmosphere but also to get content out for you guys, and so that was really, really helpful, and we had so many laughs together as well. However, I think you can absolutely go on your own and still have an amazing time. I met so many other people whilst I was there. There were so many opportunities to meet other Disney fans whilst you're in queues, whilst you're going to the panels. You get to chat to other Disney fans or Imagineers or cast members. I got to meet other Disney creators that I know and love whilst I was there. Some of them I'd been talking to for a while on Instagram, and it was nice to see them in person. So it's a very friendly, welcoming atmosphere, at least from my experience. Everyone's really nice around you. So many awesome cosplays, by the way. For me, that was my favorite thing. I think, even though there was so much to do, so many cool things to see, the cosplays were some of my absolute favorites, because there was so many creative cosplays done, and like they added to the convention. Like that was part of the entertainment for me. Like it was amazing to see how creative other Disney fans can be. So yeah, I think you will have an absolutely amazing time if you choose to go solo to D23, and loads of other people go solo as well. Julie Louis Comics asks, how was traveling with another YouTuber? Now I kind of just touched on that, but I had such an amazing time with Moni Mouse / Simone. We are quite different personality wise. I mean, she's very much an early riser. She's a lot more organized than I am. I'm very much like a spontaneous person, last minute, night owl. However, we laughed so much, and like I said, at the core of it, we understood each other because we were there for very similar reasons, for content making more than anything. So I had an amazing time, and I would love to go to more places with Moni Mouse in the future. Maria Kier 93 has asked, did you book your stay first, flight tickets or D23 event tickets? That's a really good question, and I definitely booked my D23 ticket first, because I wasn't going to go if I wasn't going to be able to go to D23. Like the main reason that I wanted to go in August was to be able to attend the D23 Expo, the event at the Anaheim Convention Center, and so I wasn't going to book flights, hotels and things like that before I knew for a fact that I was able to go to the D23 event. Now, one thing that I had actually booked kind of preliminarily, if that makes sense, beforehand on booking.com, I had booked the hotel, the Marriott Anaheim Hotel, which is where we stayed at throughout the D23 event. That one I'd booked about 6-7 months before the tickets went on sale. Basically, as soon as I knew the dates for 2024's D23, I booked that hotel because I wanted to get it at the lowest price possible, because the hotel, as you would have seen in the vlogs, was literally opposite the convention center. It was so convenient, walking distance, perfect if you're attending D23, and I knew that it was going to be popular, and it was. I think it was fully booked by the time the event actually came, so I made sure to book that in advance, but I didn't have to pay for it until much closer to the event, so I was able to cancel it if I needed to, I think up to like 24 hours before the event. So that was lucky because I got it at a reasonable price. It definitely got more expensive closer to the event. But yeah, flight tickets, Disneyland tickets, all of that we only booked after we knew for a fact that we actually had the D23 tickets in our hands. Like we'd been successful at purchasing them, because we knew that it would be a risk. Like we knew that there was a possibility that we wouldn't be able to get the tickets for D23. Lauren Tilbury, hi Lauren, has asked, who was your favorite Disney legend to have received their award? I really enjoyed the Disney Legend ceremony. I think by that point I was extremely tired. However, it was a really, really cool event, and it was amazing being in a room with so many actual legends, like amazing people in the Honda Center. I think my favorite legend, I mean, James Cameron is awesome. Like I couldn't believe that I was seeing him on stage, but also Joe Rohde. For me, when it comes to Disney side of things, Joe Rohde has always been an inspiration to me. Obviously, he's the Imagineer for so many cool things, including Animal Kingdom, which is my favorite theme park in Walt Disney World. So that was pretty awesome. And of course, I mean, Miley Cyrus, really cool. John Williams, I'm a big fan of. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. He didn't attend attend the event, which makes sense, but I was just very happy to see his name there and the celebration of his work. Yeah, so many actual legends. And then Molly Jade Reese has asked, what panels were your favorite apart from the parks panel? I got to attend 2 panels whilst I was at the Anaheim Convention Center. One of them was a Toy Story panel, one of them was the World's Fair panel from A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. And I think I preferred the Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow panel, which I got to attend on the second day on Saturday, to the Toy Story one. Don't get me wrong, the Toy Story one was amazing, but I learned a lot more from the World's Fair one, because the World's Fair, the New York World's Fair, has so much history, and it was the inspiration for a lot of attractions to come to Disney, and it was just very cool to get to listen to people talk about that. Lauren has asked another question: if you could add or remove something from the D23 event, what would you change? That's a good question, and I think I touched on this earlier as well. The shopping experience was quite difficult, and I know my friend Moni was quite frustrated with that, because to be able to go into the shops at D23, like the major shops anyway, of course they had loads of little shops here and there, loads of unofficial Disney stuff, but the big Disney ones, you had to get a virtual queue, and the virtual queues would start either at 4 a.m. every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, or 1 p.m. So you had 2 chances every day, and bless her, Simone woke up at 4 a.m. every single day. I woke up the second day with her and we both tried, still weren't successful, but Simone was eventually successful one of the afternoons at 1 p.m. for one of the shops. So it was annoying because obviously by the time we got to go in the shops, a lot of the things that we wanted were sold out. Like I said, no spirit jerseys, a lot of the cool things people had already bought. And the sad thing is that a lot of people were buying those things to obviously resell. Because if you go on eBay now, you'll be able to find a lot of the spirit jerseys that were sold at D23 for like triple the price being sold there. So that was a little bit frustrating, because actual Disney fans that were attending the event were not able to get these things that they were happy to pay money for, just because they couldn't get into the shop with the virtual queue. But having said that, I don't know how else they could have done it. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it was annoying, because even with the virtual queue, even if you were successful, you still had to go and wait for a little bit. And I understand that that's kind of their way of doing some crowd control, because otherwise the queues could become very ridiculous. So it's something that I was a little bit annoyed about as well. However, I don't know how to change. I would love to hear your comments down below if you have any ideas. And then Marcus Marcellus has asked, I think this is going to be the final question that I'm going to answer, the food and transportation. So the food at D23 was quite expensive. However, they had a lot of options. They had food trucks literally outside the entrance, the main entrance of the building, and a variety of different cuisines. Just expensive. So everything started from around $20, which is fine, but for what you were getting, you could definitely get that same thing for much cheaper outside of the convention. However, they know what they're doing. You're in a convention, you want food, you're hungry, and so you're going to be paying that $20, $25 for a small sandwich or something, because you have no other choice. And you weren't allowed to take snacks with you, you weren't allowed to take any drinks with you. The only thing that you were allowed to actually take into the convention center with you was water. Like a bottled water was fine, anything else you had to throw out. And it was actually kind of sad to see the bins just outside security was so full of, you know, uneaten sandwiches, food, because not everybody knew that you couldn't take snacks in. So loads of people were coming and then being told, oh, you can't actually take snacks with you. And so they had to get rid of them, which is a bit sad. But at least now you know you cannot take any food into the convention with you, which means that if you want to eat something, you have to buy it at the convention. But the food was good. Like all 3 days, I was pretty happy with what I ate. The second day was the best. We had, I believe, some tacos from like an authentic Mexican food truck. That was our favorite, both of us. And then for transportation, obviously, as I mentioned, we stayed at the Marriott Anaheim, which was literally opposite of the convention center, walking distance. It took like less than a minute to get there, which was so convenient. But I guess otherwise you would have to get an Uber or something to get there if you're not very close to the convention center. But from the Anaheim Convention Center to the Honda Center, they did have a complimentary bus, a shuttle bus. We only used it one evening to come back from the Honda Center on the last night, because, you know, we weren't in a rush anymore. We knew that we didn't have to necessarily do much that evening, so we decided to opt for the bus. And it was quite busy. There was a queue for it, and it's limited as well. So if you want to use the, you know, complimentary buses, you do have to make sure that you're there early, both to get to the Honda Center and to come back. For us, we mainly just used Ubers. Like I said, apart from that one evening, every other time we used Ubers. It was around $20 every time, because of the fact that it was so busy. Everybody was going there. Otherwise, when it's not busy, it would probably only cost about $7-8 to do the journey with Uber. But it was fine. We only had to do it a couple of days. And speaking of the Honda Center, one thing that you should know is that they don't allow any bags. I mean, you can have very small bags. So I had like my very small Vans bag with me, and all I had in there was my phone, some money, and my DJI camera. That's literally it. You couldn't have, even a Loungefly bag was too big. You weren't allowed to take it there with you. So just be aware of that. Obviously policies could change for 2026, but at least in 2024 that's what it was like. Without further ado, I feel like I've talked a lot. This video has been way longer than I wanted it to be, so thank you so much for bearing with me, and also thank you so much for the love and support on the D23 vlogs. You guys have absolutely loved it. I've had so many amazing messages from you, both on Instagram and on YouTube, and I'm so glad that you guys felt like you were almost there with me. That's literally the main reason I love to vlog. I like to share my journeys with you, and I also wanted to be informative as well, which I hope that it was. My voice is still not fully there, by the way. I lost it whilst I was there, and you can see it's not completely come back, but hopefully it will soon. Thank you so much for watching. We are now going to go back to the Asian vlog, so I've still got my Tokyo leg of the vlogs from Asia back in June to upload, so there's going to be a couple of weeks of that, and then you will see my full California trip, including travel day, coming up I think in mid-September. Thank you so much for watching this video. Huge shout out to my lovely Patreon members and my YouTube members, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.